Hello and welcome. When selecting our topic, we thought, what is the most exciting, fun, exhilarating topic we could think to explore for a supply chain project? And naturally, machine learning inventory management systems was at the very top of our list. So I am Marcus, and on behalf of my group, thank you for clicking on our hopefully wonderful project. I hope you enjoy this introduction to Attabotics, the Calgary based company going head to head with some of the largest corporations on the planet. So, what is Attabotics? Attabotics is a service provider dedicated to disrupting the warehouse and shipping industry. With the rise of e commerce and the low demand for commercial real estate due to the presence of COVID-19, companies are looking to reduce costs and strengthen their supply chains as much as possible. Attabotics promises to implement systems that better utilize and organize the vertical space within the warehouse. Once the space is built, automated machine learning robots can accurately and rapidly organize and deliver inventory to any available workstations. As of today, Amazon remains Attabotics' primary competition, having been in the industry since 2012 when Amazon acquired Kiva Systems for $77.5 million. While Takeoff Technology, Invia Robotics, Fetch Robotics, and Locus Robotics are also all formidable competitors to Attabotics, Amazon remains its number one threat due to its size and its resources. Attabotics and its CEO, Scott Grayville, who was born and raised in Calgary, by the way, have built the Attabotics system from the ground up and have been improving the technology in the last few years so that Attabotics infrastructure can be built into any existing warehouse, be built quickly due to its functional design, while also remaining scalable for companies wishing to expand. Attabotics, unlike its competitor, Amazon, uses a lot of vertical space as well as a blocked out area for robots to function so that they don't disrupt the existing work of employees within the warehouse. As well, the Attabotics system is built to make the lives of workers easier by reducing lead times and increasing efficiency at the employee workstations.
Now that we have a thorough understanding of who Attabotics' largest competitor is, let's take a look at what the current industry looks like that Attabotics is trying to change. Currently, warehousing is often done in low density areas outside of city centers. These warehouses are typically huge, and there's still quite a large cost of infrastructure associated with them. To illustrate just how large some of these warehouses are, Amazon's annual 10K filing in 2018 with the United States Security and Exchange Commission lists them as holding, quote, 288 million square feet of offices, warehouses, retail stores, and data centers. Subtracting the square footage attributed to AWS leaves approximately 212 million square feet for warehousing and other, or roughly 75% of Amazon's overall footprint. This means that that area is larger than the Vatican City, Monaco, the Coral Sea Islands, Spratly Islands, and Gibraltar combined, and you have an additional 787 acres of land left over. This number has continued to grow year over year as Amazon has grown larger and larger. Additionally, warehousing currently is quite dangerous for humans because they have to be in large spaces with lots of moving vehicles around, and it's extremely costly. So what is it that sets Attabotics apart, and why should I care about it as an end consumer? Well, Attabotics' system allows for the extreme high density storage of goods. While this is something that would traditionally be considered very boring, understandably, and not very important to an end consumer, it actually might have some pretty interesting repercussions. One of the ways that Attabotics is looking to completely revolutionize the supply chain system for e-commerce is having mini or micro warehousing of goods directly within urban areas. This would both reduce costs for the company as they're closer to their end consumers, and it would lower the processing times to the end consumer because it doesn't have to travel as far from the warehouse. Additionally, their systems have less human labor, meaning lower costs in the long term, and lower safety incidents because less people are at risk of hurting themselves through the supply chain. Another argument can be made that this system is better for the environment because traditional Amazon style warehouses stretching kilometers in length no longer need to exist if you're building vertically. Now, let's move the discussion along to some of the current challenges that are facing Attabotics. Some individual competitors have huge incentives to figure this out first and the immense resources to do so. We're talking about Amazon here. They're worth $1.5 trillion and have the most to gain out of all companies maximizing the efficiency in their supply chains. Additionally, there are lots of smaller competitors in this market. We found at least 5 that have somewhat usable systems, and lots of them have multiple millions of dollars in funding.
So how is Attabotics involved in the supply chain? Attabotics uses large structures that are modeled to be similar to an anthill, with a bin system to access all items. The bins can hold 99.8% of the items you would find in an online retailer, and robotic shuttles then move the bins up and down and across to deliver the goods to the stations located at the perimeter of the structure. 1 out of every 5 spaces is left empty, so goods can move throughout the structure easily. In addition to being smaller, the system is also much faster than traditional fulfillment centers, which center around a conveyor belt. Traditional fulfillment systems can take about 60 to 90 minutes to collect and package an order, but the Attabotics system can finish a job in 60 to 90 seconds. If you think about where most of a population is, it's in an urban center where they don't have big distribution center spaces available. It then becomes a trade-off between having a huge distribution center way outside an urban area that ships everything in, or a smaller distribution center that's closer but stores less product. Attabotics looks to change this debate with their compact warehousing solutions. Attabotics systems are in 6 locations across North America, including food and beverage and medical supply facilities. In 2019, the company announced a partnership with Nordstrom to build a 340,000 square foot warehouse, down from the company's typical 1.5 million or more square foot warehouse. As Attabotics is a growing company, there hasn't been a push for marketing via traditional methods. They maintain a small social media following, delivering consistent content, but the majority of their current marketing has come from indirect methods. They have been featured on numerous companies to watch lists from outlets such as Time Magazine, CNBC, and the Wall Street Journal. Attabotics has also secured major partnerships with Microsoft and Rogers for Business to expand their current platforms.
Hey everybody, congrats for making it to the end of the video. For our last slide today, we have some suggested questions of topics that we explored that will be in our paper, but we did not have time to include in our presentation. So feel free to ask away during our Q&A session. Thanks.